And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation. We're going to be bringing you guys a game between Team Empire and Kaipi Gaming. This is part of the WePlay.tv Group Stage Phase 2 Group C. Team Empire is in the losers bracket along with Kaipi Gaming. They were knocked out by Cupad, Red Pandas, and Dignitas respectively. And now we're going to be seeing who's going to be immediately eliminated and who's going to have a shot to jump back on in the second, third deciding rounds coming up after the fact. But either way, best of 3 series coming up for you guys now. And once again, I am Blaze, joined here by Skim, my co-caster today. How's it going, man?
Hey, man. And yeah, both teams in this loser bracket, of course, they want to redeem themselves and want to advance, but I'm not sure about Team Empire. They have been struggling in the past, especially playing with those 2 stand-ins right now, and I mean, they have shown potential with those 2 stand-ins, but overall it's just still 2 stand-ins, and Kaipi, this is one team to look out for, and they have so much potential that I think this is their game to take. And Empire, they will have to pull something off, something amazing to actually surprise Kaipi and me.
10 seconds
Yep.
remaining.
So we'll see some unorthodox things coming on through. Twista has always been kind of a dynamic drafter. Still stand in technically, but he's pulling out the draft really, really dynamically. Like he's in the games I've casted for, I guess you can call it like New Empire or something along those lines. Twista has been really, really picking it up and trying out some different styles. They really want to spread their wings a little bit in their first couple of weeks to try to find some common ground that they can all share and find some great styles to work with. Because in general, like they've obviously had some issues with Goblak and Silent that forced them to be removed from the team one way or another. I'm not sure. It wasn't really well defined whether or not they quit or if they were forced to be removed from the team. Either way, in this position here, they're just trying to kind of pick up the broken pieces and trying to figure out what to go from there. One thing that is remained core though is their 2 solos. We have seen Vigas currently tagged up as Opa. He has picked up a great mid-roll, and in some cases the solo lane as well. And then a Scandal has been doing the same. So in that sense, they've been able to accomplish quite a bit, and they generally pick up their core heroes like Magnuses and Queen of Pains and Pucks and stuff like that really early on to make sure that really fits into their style appropriately. Either way, right now, the draft, as it stands, we see the Nixon Assassin and Lone Druid were banned out by Kaipi, whereas the IO and Bad Rider were taken out by Empire. So from there, the Magnus and the Lifestealer have been picked up for Empire, whereas the Keeper of Light and Bane were chosen by Kaipi. So in this sense, it feels like Kaipi is trying to build up their tri-lane and possibly pick up that Phantom Lancer. And Team Empire is just kind of trying to build up their own kind of completely different style with empowered Nakes and those kinds of things. What do you think?
I'm actually not sure if Kaipi wants to pick Phantom Lancer once more, even though he does synergize well with the Keeper of the Light.
I don't know. I mean, they picked it last round without a Keeper of the Light. So with a Keeper Light Bane, it seems like it'd be a no-brainer.
Yeah, just taking... Oh, well, I would have guessed that taking the experience from the last game, they would not try to go for this late game strat again, especially since against a team like Empire who likes to be aggressive very early on. And, yeah, but I guess they do... Well, they do feel comfortable picking that one up, and Empire even banning out the Queen of Pain themselves, so Magnus is most likely going to be on the mid lane, not going to be on the off lane. Could have also been on an off laner. Yeah, but solid picks so far, and Empire foreseeing that Phantom Lancer pick and picking immediately that Shadow Demon as some sort of direct counter to him, because of course if you do disrupt the Phantom Lancer, the illusions you make for yourselves can proc another illusions, and that's going to be an army of Phantom Lancer versus an army of Phantom Lancer. It's always fun to watch, actually. Yeah, that's going to be in the late game anyway. I guess Kaipi is looking towards banning out potential offlane heroes. I think they should ban out the Darkseer. Scandal is one of those players that are very comfortable with the Darkseer. They're very good with the Darkseer, very clutch plays by him, and they shouldn't allow this because the teamfight potential and the illusion potential with the wall and with the disruption is a bit too high.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, they're actually going to ban out the Darkseer themselves, actually, so that's interesting. But, right now, yeah, Magnus and Shadow Demon, they have a lot of potentials to counteract some different things here. We saw how effective Magnus could be up against the Bane, using the Skewer or the RP to make sure that Fiend's Grip wouldn't be a great option there. He kind of actually also lines himself up for the fight, where he's always going to be pointing in the direction of the carry that he's disabling, and generally speaking, that carry is going to be right-clicked by the enemy carry. So you can actually find some really great lines where you skewer Bane right in the mix of things and then get at least a 2-man RP, if not a 3 or 4. So there's some great opportunities along those lines. But beyond that, in this situation here, it's odd to ban out the Darkseer, but it's like you said, they like to be aggressive, and Darkseer, unless you're Bone 7's Darkseer, doesn't generally pick up some major skills that can make a large impact in team fights until later in the game. So I guess for the first few minutes, they want to start putting pressure out, and Darkseer doesn't fit into their game plan in that regard. So banning out 2 heroes that generally Scandal loves to play, but in this situation they don't feel as applicable. It's taking out all these great mid heroes, but they are a little bit afraid, a little bit of what Arise brings to the table as well.
Yeah, and they should be, because we've seen Arise pulling off some amazing plays, but there's still a lot of heroes that he's comfortable playing with, such as the Clockwork. Clockwork is... I'm most definitely certain that we will see Clockwork in this lane, in this game. If it's not Kaipi, it's going to be Empire, because he just brings so much to the table with his cogs, with the hookshot, as a perfect initiation skill. And yeah, especially against heroes such as the Bane, the Keeper of the Light, having the cogs who drain a lot of mana, that's a really nice skill to have, and especially in the confusion of a team fight.
So Leshrac picked up for the Shadow Demon Leshrac Lifestealer tri-lane. They can easily run this aggressive if they want to and put out a large amount of impact. It's not that great up against the Keeper Light Phantom Lancer tri-lane. Obviously, the last tri-lane that we cast will involve the Nyx instead of the Coddle, and that was a lot easier to work up against. But nevertheless, if they want to go 3 versus 3, if they can get some good vision up on Keeper Light and dodge out the heavily charged Illuminates, I think they'll be actually on a good common ground where they can really put some pressure on Eternal Envy's farm and try to make sure that he never makes it to that late game monstrous carry. But Brewmaster is going to be the selection for the mid. Arise will be picking that up there. He has run it a couple times before. How do you feel about that pick when they're already going up against the Lifestealer?
I'm really not sure about this. I guess it's still a good pickup, because if you get that tornado off on the Magnus, you can still pull him out of the teamfight for a few seconds. But overall, it just feels like, okay, they just want some good teamfight control and maybe even pick off the squishy supports early on. And
10 seconds remaining.
well, I think they could have picked other heroes. It doesn't really feel like that was necessary. But the Alchemist, yeah, that's interesting. This actually... Oh, who's going to be on the tri-lane, actually?
Yeah, it has to be an aggressive tri-lane, that's for sure.
Yeah, of course, but I think Alchemist has a great synergy with those 2 supports as well, because if you disrupt someone and you can already channel up your concussion, and as soon as the hero comes out, it's a 4-second stun or 3-second stun.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I honestly think they could run it either way. That's pretty much their potential to do whatever they want with it. I think Lifestealer might be a little more survivable because he can actually like phase tank Illuminates and Lances based on popping Rage, not have to worry about those kinds of things. But if he gets Nightmared, I guess he won't be able to avoid all that damage, and it's a hard thing to say. Either way, Alchemist and Lifestealer, whoever goes on the safe lane, I feel is actually going to find more farm than the one on the aggressive tri-lane, unless you, of course, start ramping up hero kills, in which case you're doing good one way or another. But I really think whoever they want more farm on, which in my opinion should be the Alchemist, should go towards the safe lane. Just because when you hit that mid-game stride and you get a lot of gold, if Blow Your Brain is just farming like crazy on the Alchemist, suddenly you have a rank 2 or 3 in power, you put that on the Alchemist, and he is good to go. He can cleave down the Phantom Lancer illusions, and he can just really bring a lot of destruction. So they're very similar heroes in how they can be aggressive with open wounds or with concoction. They work well with the Shadow Demon setup. They dish out a lot of damage. They can take up a lot of damage. But we'll have to see exactly how they want this to play out. Right now, Vigos running on the Lifestealer, which I have not honestly seen.
And Scandal on the support Shadow Demon, which I also have never seen. Scandal, for me, is one of the best solo players out there. So seeing him on the support is really surprising. But I guess this is part of the new team. You want to try out new lanes, new role distribution, and maybe even they swap it out, and everything we're discussing here is kind of redundant. But no, he actually buys the wards, so he's going to play the support, which is really surprising. Let's just introduce the teams quickly. It's, as you mentioned, Vigorous on the Lifestealer, Twister playing the Leshrac support, Lawyer Brain on the Alchemist Scandal support, Shadow Demon, and in the mid lane, Johnny the stand-in on the Magnus.
And then on the side of Kaipi, we of course have Bone 7 on his relatively signature Clockwork, going on the offlane there with a Rise on the mid Brewmaster, and then as expected, Pylite, Zizu, supporting up Keeper Light and Bane to make sure that Eternal Envy on the Phantom Lance will be able to acquire a lot of farm. But right now, offlane Lifestealer, double Tangos, Quelling Blade and Stout Shield. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm really confused by this. I would say they expect an aggressive trolling. This is my read on this. I guess he was expecting to go up against the solo Clockwork, and that's why he got extra Tangos pool, because to survive against that, both Rocket and Cox harass. But at this point, he'll probably transition back into the jungle because I don't see him accomplishing much.
Well, right now the Dire has vision of that position. The Radiant just about to get vision of Eternal Envy, so they now see Eternal Envy up on top, and we'll have to see if they respond to that directly. We have seen offlane Lifestealer before. Technically, he does have some great survivability mechanisms, but I really don't think that he... although he'll be alright on the lane, I really don't think he wants to go 1v3. We do see just the Disruption and the Split Earth landing along with the Concoction. This should be easy first blood with all these illusions dealing so much damage too. The last right click goes to Shadow Demon, and Scandal is going to be able to pick up some nice supportive gold. As far as where they want to go from here, though, I'm not too certain. Vigos blocking up the lane. He looks like he's ready to go. He'll go 1 versus 3 as needed, but he's up against an Observer Ward, and he's going to have to use his Rage extremely carefully. Walking right on into it. Oh my goodness. Going to take a lot of damage here. He has Tangos to make up for it. That will only be like a Tango and a half, but nevertheless, not a position he wants to be in. He's just going to get zoned and zoned and zoned, and he won't even find the creep wave if Kaipi Gaming have anything to say about it.
Yeah, and at this point he can't even transition back into the jungle anymore because he put 1 point into the Rage.
Oh, yeah.
So he does not have the feast to... Actually, now he transitions back. So he's just screwing with me, but still. This is going to... Well...
A lot of time wasted for him.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And his farm in the jungle will not be as efficient as it could have been. And yeah. But... I guess Kaipi is going for some sort of slow start. They don't want to engage early on because they know that their lineup is a bit item and farm dependent. Especially, well, I mean, a Brewmaster of course does just need his ultimate, but if you have a Blink Dagger to go with that, it would be a hell of a lot better. And even Bone 7 on his Clockwork kind of wants an item, maybe Blade Mail, something along those lines. So they kind of want to avoid early engagement.
Yeah, I think that both of them will be able to find some farm relatively quickly, but they might have to go for some kind of ancient stack play and stuff like that. Not substantially, you can't go for like a quad stack because you don't have any tools to mow it down. But nevertheless, the Clockwork could benefit a lot from just going for a double or triple. We do see Scandal and... excuse me. Sorry about that. You do see Scandal and Twista coming in to flank up down behind Bone 7. Creep Wave is right underneath the tower now, and they actually have a great opportunity to go in right this very second to get this kill. And this could be just a remake of what happened last time around. They have him inside the cogs, but he's just pinned in as much himself. They don't have vision, though, and the Concoction will only go on to blow your brain himself. But now they do have him pinned in. Scandal should not go first because he is such low HP, but nevertheless, 3-man going on down here. The TP is going to be the Phantom Lancer coming on in. Eternal Envy wants to bail him out, but Bone 7 will fall in the end. Trapped in, 3 cogs. Will they actually be able to make something happen here? Soul Catcher damage onto Eternal Envy. They're charging it up. They get the Disruption, and the Concoction will follow. This could be huge. They even drop a Sentry Ward. Eternal Envy can't get out of this. He will die as well. That was a terrible decision, Eternal Envy. Oh my goodness, TPing down, using a TP scroll gold cost in the first place in a safe, what would have been a safely farming area, and then he just lost his life there. Concoction charging again, going on in, he has to make a decision. We'll throw it out on Bone 7, who's still captured up, so they will be able to finish him off, but Arise, skewered, slowed down, can't even finish off Scandal here, and should fall himself. The Disruption to make sure of it here. Johnny holding the Shockwave, locking him down for a double kill himself, and oh my gosh, does Empire come out swinging.
Oh, what the hell just happened? I mean, why did, of all the heroes on the whole...
I know, I was like, oh, it's gotta be smart, it's gotta be Keeper Light or something. No.
Yeah.
It's fucking Envy.
Yeah, I was expecting Zizu or, yeah, Pilot that should just TP in, maybe Illuminate, Nightmare, something, but no, there's just a freaking Phantom Lance. And, whoa, that was really weird. And then Arise coming in, that was also very questionable, because what does he bring to the table except for a stomp? And effectively he just gave away, well, his mid lane.
Panic.
He basically lost that.
Yeah, he lost the mid lane because he lost gave the kill right to the Magnus, and I gotta say I don't like laughing at players because obviously it's not a nice thing to do, but holy crap, any person looking at that objectively has to realize that was utter trash. Every single maneuver there. Oh my gosh, it wasn't even Empire playing extremely good. It was them doing one good thing and then Kaipi handing them the rest of it. So Eternal Envy has a lot of ground to make up, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. And Bone 7, it started out really good for Kaipi. I mean, Bone 7 cogging himself there, knowing that the rest of Empire would lose vision, so there would not be a fallout with disruption or concussion, and that Alchemist would actually stun himself. But after that, that was just complete haywire by Kaipi, and there's another smoke coming in from Empire, so they will actually get another kill on Envy. They might. They do have another sentry there, so...
Saving up the sentry, looking for their opportunity. This is kind of the trialing that we were talking about to an extent, and they still have that kind of aggressive combo, even if Lifestealer is only level 3. 1-1-1 is sufficient for his baseline, and they actually are thinking this Observer Ward gives them vision. I mean, obviously it gives them generally a lot of vision, but Scandal coming in, breaks the smoke, drops it down on top of the Bane with the Soul Catcher with the Split Earth. They won't even need the open wounds to net it. I don't know about the Rage, but nevertheless, finding the kill on the Bane and walking away. Now 6-0.
Yeah, that was really nice, and you could just see Scandal was like, okay, we're trying Eternal Envy. Oh, there's a free Bane. Let's just get him. And it's definitely well worth it. And Eternal Envy, he just... Well, this is as good as killing him because he can't farm anymore. He's just sitting there and soaking up XP. He can't even soak up XP properly, so... Empire, good movement coming out, and... Yeah, Alchemist basically won his lane solo, and he can handle a Clockwork definitely by himself.
It's level 3 Clockwork, of course he can.
Yeah. And yeah, this is not looking good for Kaipi, especially if you look at the graphs. I mean, 5 minutes in, it's 3k in favor of... yeah.
Usually I don't think the graphs tell much for the first 5 minutes of the game, but I'm sure this is a different story entirely. We have this bounce back and forth, the 2,500 gold advantage. That's going to be some early items. That could be... I guess they won't be like mech carriers, really. They don't really have any good ones of those, but...
Not really.
Nevertheless, I mean, the Arcane Boots already up for Magnus, working his way towards Blink Dagger, while the carries find their farm individually, and that's a rank 3 Grievel's Greed for the Alchemist, so he's going to be able to get plenty of gold here. And actually, seeing Bone 7 in this Cogs, he almost might want to go for that concoction, but doesn't exactly know what he's up against. Now that nighttime has struck, there could be some rotations. Speaking of, Shadow Demon Leshrac, Twista and Scandal, buddy, ready to go on Arise here. They get the disruption, and that locks him in for the Skewer to come on out, or... Oh, that is bad. He gets that ultimate off, then there's going to be the stone on top of the Illuminate. Will they go for more? They have Zizu. They will Brain Sap him up and finish it off. With the Tornado up, they can even go for Magnus. Dispel it, stun him. That's all they need to do, and they can easily finish the job here. But Arise, at only half HP and mana, might not want to go too deep. Wow, that timing. He was, of course, just spamming out his Primal Split, but that Magnus Polarity, I figured the Skewer would come on through first because it still does that stun activity, but... just mistiming it a little bit and wasting off the polarity. The Brewmaster survives and gets a turnaround kill, putting a point on the board.
That was a huge mistake by Twister and Scandal. They just moved into this tree line. They were hiding right there, and yeah, Scandal initiated with Twister not being in range for that Split Earth, and they really need that Split Earth to hit. And oh, Vigos gets a solo kill on the Keeper of the Light.
Phase Boots, yeah, it's really strong there. Just popped off his 2 cooldowns and was able to actually bring him down. Again, these supports are struggling with their current levels, so still getting that advantage in the other lanes, but a bit of a misplay on mid does give them a little bit of hope to cling to here.
Yeah, definitely, but still, this is not looking good for Kaipi. Empire is still definitely on top, and those 2 supports from Empire, they're really moving a lot around the map. What Kaipi does have going for them, I guess, is that Eternal Envy does... Well, he gets his farm at some point. I mean, he's sitting at Treads, has a permanent shield and 500 gold. He'll probably build his drums build, like in the last game, but yeah, he's not looking too bad. I mean, if you look at his gold per minute, it's not looking as bad as I would have expected, and they do have the stack camp in the jungle, so they can farm that together, and yeah, Kaipi making at least some effort.
Yeah, I mean, they're not out of this yet. It was a really rough start, and if they do come back from this, it's going to be a long road ahead of them. But nevertheless, they're going to be keeping and trying to stick to their fundamentals and try to make some things happen here. Actually going to get a free ward. Observer placed down here. As soon as they spot it out, the sentry is most definitely in range, and they can actually, if they don't get baited into like 3 kills in a row, they can actually gain a little bit of control over this position. But for the moment, just charging up Illuminates, dealing some damage. No, Viga's still going to dodge that one out. And in this position, 3 versus 3, they're in such a strong point. Maybe not to kill Envy, but certainly the other 2 behind him.
Yeah, if they go on Zizou, there's nothing that could stop them, because neither Eternal Envy nor Pilot Eye have any sort of disabled.
They go him. They get the disruption, the splitter to follow. That is a rank 2 Soul Catcher. That's a dead Zizou. Good Illuminate going to come on through and hit on both supports, but nevertheless the damage is done. And now Eternal Envy, what are you doing, man? This is not the place to be. Underneath the Sentry Ward, he just assumes they don't have detection, but they certainly do. They certainly bring him down, and it's just getting worse and worse as time goes by. We do actually see Return Kill, the Shadow Demon getting clipped off by a very long Illuminate, but nevertheless, just losing out hardcore in that exchange.
Yeah, but still beautiful engagement right there. Great foresight with that Sentry Ward. I mean, it's not like they expected this exact scenario, but just knowing that at some point they would engage in that near area. Very nice placement right there.
Exactly. We do see Brewmaster rushing a Blink. Very, very hardcore. Arise is going to be able to pick that off relatively quickly if that's his intention. I mean, he could just go for an outright drums, but you generally see the tier 2 boots before that if that's the case. Either way, in a bit of a rough patch, but it looks like he's just going to luckily head on the right direction. That won't mean anything. The Shadow Poison not going to connect, and Arise gets to walk away. Or stand still and walk into Disruption. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? He is like trying to bait them or something. He can go for the Primal Split. He gets it off. But nevertheless, what is he accomplishing? He gets the stun off on the last rack. Here's the Clockwork. Bone 7, it was a trap. And Twista does get locked down. Johnny maybe looking to group them up together. Could try to go for that skewer, but the Earth Panda is the one that he needs. So going on in, the Concoction charging. The Earth will dispel, and now they will burst down Bone 7 for a return. And that is an off lane for a support, willing to take it and possibly go for more here. Drop down the RP, and that spells his fate as well.
I'm actually not sure if that was a bait or a trap, because if they had played it right, Twister could have actually killed him right there. He was just waiting too long with the splitter. I'm not sure why. And
well, because if you do it slightly too early, then you're going to miss it 100%, whereas the other one, you know.
Well, that was like, well, 0.7 seconds too late. I didn't really time it, but it was really late.
Yeah,
Split Earth. And,
definitely later than it needed to be.
But good rotation coming out from Empire, good reaction coming out with the Alchemist and the Shadow Blade. I'm not sure if Kaipi was actually prepared for Shadow Blade this early on. Of course, 11 minutes is definitely doable, but still.
Especially with this kind of a start, dude.
Definitely. And yeah, he's looking really good, and he's just piling on his farm. And Bone 7, oh poor Bone 7.
Yeah.
He can only soak up XP at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good point-and-click hookshot, but really, it wasn't their fight to take. With the Magnus being involved in that, it just really wasn't. They could pick off a support and be happy with that, but no.
They're looking at Bone 7 again.
And yeah, he's not in a good position right here. They're going to be able to right-click him down inside his own cogs, and there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, and Scandal's actually level 7. It's really crucial on him to have level 6 at least, just because that Demonic Purge is really, really strong and nets a lot of kills.
Yeah, Blink Dagger on the Magnus. That's going to be really, really good. But Brewmaster does answer back with his own. Tier 1 tower falls on the bot lane, but the Brewmaster having that Blink Dagger gives them an opportunity. They can go in if they get like a 3-man clap into a good ultimate. I really could see things working out pretty well because of the fact that Brewmaster keeps people in place, locks people in position, disables them up. I think that they could really set up some powerful Illuminates and dish out a lot of damage.
And the funny thing is, those 2 branches he has just give him enough mana to actually pull his combo off. Oh, well, no, wait. No, he's too short.
With the Blink Dagger, yeah.
Pull it off. Yeah, with the Blink Dagger. I totally forgot about that, but yeah, he really needs those Arcane Boots, but having the Blink Dagger is still going to be really nice. They do have a Keeper of the Light, so if he blinks in and gets, what's it called? Can't really remember at this point. If he gets mana pooled by him, what?
Mana Leak?
Chakra.
Oh, Chakra, okay.
Chakra magic. Yeah, if he gets Chakra, then I guess that's going to be okay.
Yeah. So that'll work out fine. But Johnny has that Invisor, looking to put some pressure out on the Brewmaster, who is still behind in the experience department. He's not going to have that level 11 as soon as he would like, and so the Pandas are going to be that much weaker in the next engage. We do see on bottom there is going to be Eternal Envy getting forced back by Blow Your Brain in mid. A beautiful Blink Skewer. He gets the RP off again, though, and the Earth Panda will go to town, focusing on Twister right now. I'm not sure why his allies don't fight this. They get a defensive disruption, but just kill the Fire Panda. It does almost all the damage. Like, these other guys do piercing damage and siege damage, whereas the fire is the one that actually does the hero damage. So there's
I'm
no
not sure
reason.
myself. I'm really not sure myself. They just ran away instead of doing anything.
It's like they were terrified of 3 heroes simultaneously TPing to the tier 1 to actually lend more than just a Leshrac kill.
Yeah. Look at the top lane. Kaipi is they're really protective of Envy with 2 wards. Oh, well, 3 wards in fact. Well, now 4 wards.
Well, he wasn't even there for a little bit. He was down on bottom, dueling it out with the Alchemist, but not seeing an advantage there. He just heads back up top and starts farming away on the jungle.
Yeah, that Ice spray really hurts. It's really easily underestimated. And Alchemist now has a Maelstrom. His farm is going to be skyrocketing because he can farm so much stronger. Just imagine what would have happened if he actually went for a Midas.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been an option. I mean, right now, one thing about Alchemist is that he just definitely wants to get big quick. I honestly think that he could probably hit 5 or 6 slots before the Midas can pay for itself, just because of how good of a start he's already gotten. I don't think that means there's logic that a start is too good for a Midas, but I'm just saying if he can get another big core item and just dish out that damage, then Eternal Envy will still just be like a punching bag to him. I mean, he's going for, I think, drums. He has the bracer, so he'll get like 1 item before Alchemist has 3. And if you commit to Midas, you're just delaying that advantage. So it's debatable. Both options could have been good, but in this situation, I think he's fine to just move on forward. One thing you were talking about with the Brewmaster was that mana issue, and although Chakra Magic and now the Arcane Boots does help that out, it's been a long time coming. We do actually see Initiation come in, he gets the clap, but he doesn't have anything for the ulti, not even the cooldown. Either way, Twista will be lanced down, they get the right clicks, they get the hook shot on Scandal, everybody locked in, even Zizou gonna get out of this with the Brain Sap up. The remaining individual, Johnny, looking for a little bit of nice Shockwave Blink play, but instead gets lanced up, and that follows on through after the Blink. We do see Concoction throwing on Zizou, but he lives with 9 HP. Will walk away from this, and they just wanted it, but couldn't get it.
Wow, really good engagement from Kaipi there. I'm not sure if Empire actually expected 5 heroes to be there. And yeah, they caught Empire off guard because Empire was actually planning on doing something, and then there was Kaipi, and yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, they did not expect it, and this is something Kaipi has to keep on doing. Just pick those heroes off and do not force 5-on-5 engagements early on, because if Empire fights 5-on-5 with an RP and with Alchemist around, especially now that he has the Maelstrom, that's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah,
and also Vigos has his armlet up.
Does he now? Okay, so yeah, he's been farming rather nicely. One issue is that he doesn't have personal detection. Right now, Shadow Demon, I believe, is the one that's just been dropping sentries. Scandal picked up 4 at once, and has just put them pretty much papering them all over the map, trying to cover up the lane so that Eternal Envy... You were talking about the wards before, making him feel comfortable. This is obviously to the opposite effect. He has put so much into Doppelwalk this time around, which is a stark contrast to what we saw last game, where he didn't skill it up at all for a long, long time. So they're taking the opportunity to counter it out. And it's like, okay, if you have a 60 mana and Viz, we're going to make sure that it doesn't really help you more than a movement speed boost. But we do see a good flank coming on in. Brewmaster looking for an opportunity on Vigos, and I think they really could go on this. I mean, he does have Rage TP at any stage in time, but if Zizou just has this Fiend's Grip, 10 seconds from now, they could honestly just jump on top of this. Meanwhile, Johnny flanking it up with an Invis, and we'll have to see if he can actually find an opening.
They saw him going Invis.
Holy shit, another one! First Snake King, now Johnny. How hard is Blink Dagger nowadays?
I'm not sure.
Like, they must have nerfed Blink Dagger so that you have to, like, click the button really hard or something, because that's the second time, 2 games in a row, that comes out.
Even if he had used it, that wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been great, but, you know, it's better than that.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, you talked about that Empire does not have a mech buyer, and I was about to mention that Chinese players actually put a mech on the Magnus, and he's going to pick it up, by the way.
Yeah, okay, we do see stuns coming out. They get the Sentry Ward out. Blow might fall for the first time. Closing on in, they get the hook shot, and they should be able to lock him in here. They do. So, yeah, that is going to be the first kill of the Alchemist. He was 0-0-8 prior to that one there. But nevertheless, not finding anything more. But that Alchemist kill is really big, considering he's level 12, falling before the eyes of level 8. So it's yeah, really, really big difference. And as you were mentioning, Magnus will be picking up that mech, but action up on top lane, kind of. The Lance will come out, but they do get the clap. They do get the positionation on Scandal. Will he get the TP? The Illuminate doesn't. They get the right clicks, though. So Phantom Lancer getting the last hit on that one and bouncing back a little bit as his net worth is, or his... Yeah, net worth is about 5,500 now.
I think this is a bit poor awareness from Empire. They're not. Well, they're trying things with the only 2 heroes, and this is nothing they should actually do. If they do want to commit into something, they should just go as 5, because their 5-man team fight potential is a lot bigger than Kaipi's. Well, it used to be. Now I'd say it's about equal.
Yeah, it's hard to say that about a dual core lineup, but you're right. I mean, adding in that Infest AoE, he's about to hit level 11, so that's going to be even better. And then, of course, Bloody Brain and his powerful concoction. Going in, Envy is so fucked. Going on in, big right clicks here. They had the Sentry Ward in place. Twista got out of vision range, and Envy's like, hey, some nice juicy creeps. No, that is a giant ogre charging
in
a
the
hurling.
meantime, though, on the top lane, and oh, wow. We talked about Universe in the last game, escaping twice with like 10 HP, and this was like 1 HP. Vigos jumping into a creep after being downed by Fiend's Grip and whatnot.
Yeah, I actually didn't catch that engagement at all. Can you break it down for me a little bit?
Yeah, I just saw the end of it. They caught off Magnus with a clap and with, I think it was a Nightmare. Well, Nightmare into clap. And then the Fiend's Grip went onto Vigos, and he just barely escaped into with his infest into it.
And the Magnus got picked off in the mid lane.
Yeah, Magnus died.
That's interesting how that all played itself out. But yeah, as far as kills, and the one thing that I'm for sure about there is that the Leshrac, of course, got the kill on the Phantom Lancer, and then Brewmaster was the one to get the kill on the Magnus. So interesting how it all played itself out there a little bit. Sorry we didn't catch that one. I'm actually curious myself. But he still has that RP available, and by not committing that, they're willing to go for a full man engage pretty much anywhere they want. As far as towers, there was a tier 1 kill up top by Kaipi, but there was a tier 2 kill down on bottom by Empire, so still staying on top of that gold by far, and now moving in towards that 10k advantage.
Yeah, that's really looking good. XP-wise, it's still going up and down, because they're trading in kills, and I think Kaipi is actually getting more high-profile kills, because at this point, killing off a mag or an alchemist is so much more worth it than killing, than Empire killing off like a Clockwork or Bane. Even Envy. Envy is not that high valued at this point.
Yeah, that's surprising to say, but it's honestly rather true. I mean, he's running treads and drums, and he dishes out some good damage. He's annoying for split push, but no more so than a Nature's Prophet would be. We do see Concoction coming out onto a Rise. They're not going to be able to do anything before Primal Split can come out, though, so he's going to pop that off. Actually, does interrupt it. Here's that big reverse polarity they were looking for. Johnny jumping it on down, and Bone 7 will fall with them. That definitely really helped them secure a couple kills. They do lose their tower, I believe, down on bottom. Yeah, Eternal Envy is actually duking out with Scandal. Does get purged up with the illusions. The cats keep on going. They're going to try to finish it off with this Lance here, and yeah, Scandal should be dropped down. Bane even here, just to make sure of it. Wants to pick up some easy assist gold. Either way, the damage continues on the mid lane. The ultimate's still active from Alchemist. He has Empower, so doing 176 damage with, what is that? 3 attacks per 2 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. As soon as Empire just groups up and goes as 4 or 5, they can take down towers. They can take down. Well, they can engage in team fights without any hesitation whatsoever, because their team fight is really good, and they have those carries that are farmed up. I mean, Gloria Brain is sitting on 12k in terms of net worth. He's like 400 gold away from his AC. He's so much more further ahead than Envy is, and yeah, they're just looking really good.
Yeah, so Mechanism up for, you might have mentioned that already, but he did actually acquire that, and that's going to help them all in the team fight. Do you think he has the mana to sustain it, though, with Arcane Boots only?
It's tough, it's tough. Usually, Asian players also go for drums first, so you can actually sustain the mana. Yeah, the usage that you actually can use both stuff, use all of your skills. But yeah, I think he actually has to, or at least pick up the Perseverance now.
Yeah, be a little bit careful about how it's going to work out for him. In this position here, we do see Geometry Sight picked up on both sides. So pretty much anywhere there is actual heroes, there's going to be map control. Eternal Envy walking right over top. Oh boy, Brain, he's hasted up. He's going to go for the Lance, but they don't have the vision yet. Brewmaster is the one with that, and he didn't blink. Oh, he did blink in, but a little bit too little too late. So they do not find what would have been an easy kill. They still have vision on him because of the Observer Ward. They know he used that Shadow Blade, but not exactly where. Infested inside Magnus is going to be that Nakes, and they're going to be going in for a big initiation here. They have pretty much every opportunity to take this fight in full, especially since Phantom Lancer just teleported down bottom. He cannot engage on this. They could technically recall him, but It's going to take the reflexes of a king to actually make that happen. And Johnny coming on in with a triple RP. The Infest comes out. There's so much damage, and there's no hope at all. They get the ultimate off. The Primal Split comes through, but they're going to try to burn down the Pandas. Go for the Storm. He's the one they need, but actually they need all three, and I'm not going to find them there. Either way, shifting it over to the Tier 2 should be easy pickings here.
Huge mistake by Envy, TPing right in front of the creeps, showing that he will not be part of this engagement. And this opened up the team fight. I'm not sure if they would have been so aggressive if all of Kaipi had been there. And yeah, this is not looking good. And they might actually just breach high ground off of this, because they know Brewmaster ultimate is down, and that's most of Kaipi's team fight at this point.
Remember, with gems on the field, every single piece of ground that they take vision of as well, permanently. So, right now, you just see this cut of where they walk through. You see Observer Ward there, you see Observer Ward up on the high ground, and no Dire to speak of. They do actually get the Cogs and the hook shot off him on 7, but he just gets destroyed. Who cares about Blade Mail when you have Rage up? He's just too angry to worry about those spikes, and instead just obliterates the Clockwork Goblins. So finishes him off quickly. Now looking in for the melee Raxian with the Assault Karas Aura coming out of Alchemist. They just destroy this too. So finishing this off with really, really quick haste. We do actually see some damage coming into Vigos, but he could care less, it would seem. Actually, are they going to look for anything? TP's coming on out. It looks like they're just going to try to walk away with Alchemist, who unfortunately got Fiend's Grip up. Nice defensive disruption. Can they do anything about this? So they turn around. Vigos coming on in to chew on through a Rise, and they can pick up a gem right here. Pick up a gem, leave a gem behind, and let Zizu have it back. You know.
Well, they do have a gem of their own.
Yeah, but you know, it's a free gem. Yeah. You don't want it to give it away to the enemy again.
That's true. But I spoke about Envy making a huge mistake by TPing right in front of the creeps. Well, that was an even bigger mistake actually by Empire, that they just TP'd right in front of the enemy heroes. They really just didn't give a fuck, and
they didn't lose anything for it.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything, but it could have been actually punished if Envy had TP'd back. And that could have been... Oh... Yeah,
he's pretty well locked. He does pop off the armlet to survive. Where's Bone 7's Cogs? They were on cooldown.
Yeah, that's too bad. Would have been a kill.
15-second cooldown. Where the hell would he use those? That would have been relevant.
Not sure.
Okie dokie.
Well, anyway, yeah, if Envy had actually TP'd back, that could have at least killed off the Alchemist, and that would have been a high-value kill, because he is currently the hero with the highest level on the map, and of course the biggest net worth. And I guess a bit of miscommunication there from Kaipi.
Yeah, in general, I think that, they could have punished that a little bit more readily, but they're just so darn concerned that something could come out of the woodwork and just show them up, and we kind of saw that exactly happen, but because they didn't commit in full, they kind of half-committed, they put themselves in a bad spot. Eternal Envy, do they have the detection? Where's that gem coming on in? They want him so bad, they're going to keep on going. The regeneration rune, picked up by Magnus, but now he finds him and wants to look for... He could skewer, he could do it. I think Johnny is not... He's playing a little sheepishly, but no, obviously he's taking a lot of mana burn, and it's difficult to stay on target when you get slowed down like that. So good move by Eternal Envy. They could have possibly gone for like desperation mode, skewer up the cliff, look for a blink after that, but of course they're with no vision of the enemy, with them huddled up in their base. They could have technically been anywhere, and I guess it makes sense that you don't want to throw yourself right into them.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, Envy's illusions hurt so much with an upgraded diffusal blade. Johnny, actually, I would suggest go back to base, man, because yeah, he's going back to base. He's solo on HP and mana, of course. I'm also surprised that Empire didn't try the mid lane. I mean, Brewmaster, well, when they took down the top racks, they could have easily just transitioned into the mid lane. I mean, well, what would stop them? There was no primal split. Clockwork was down. Envy was still in the bottom lane farming.
They have the advantage, though. They don't want to commit to something that they're like, okay, well, we'll win this in 5-10 minutes anyways. What's the rush? What's the hurry to try to throw that away and give them an opportunity to respond? So they're happy to fight in a 5v5 open ground, especially with that mag ulti available. So they're just looking to have a remake of exactly what happened last time. They had the infested nakes, they got the surprise, they got a big RP, and they're looking to do it yet again. They have confidence in Johnny that he can pull it off here because he has that smoke, and they had some good vision. I say had because now they have absolutely no control over what's going on because somebody has a gem that, you could just snipe that up, but Vigos, I'm still going to blame him about that, but no, even so, they lost a lot of map control out of that, but they're going to be looking for more opportunities. Looking at a Rise here, seeing if they can get a pick off. He's looking for his Aghanim Scepter, but there's that RP, and I think that's going to be a little bit delayed, considering he just lost that much unreliable gold.
I gotta say that RP was a bit maybe wasted. I think they could have initiated with well,
I
Vegas just jumped out earlier and just orchided him. Well, of course, kill is a kill. They secured him. They well, pulled him from the map, and they can now pressure the mid lane. But I'm just saying, maybe
Yeah.
they could have worked around
Possibly, but I don't think it was a mistake just to make sure that you have that. The people does come out on the Alchemist, but still wailing away so darn quickly. Sanj and Yasha too strong, but there is going to be Bone 7 dropping off a really nice cogs, but Blade Mail is up. The blow is dealing a lot of damage to himself as well as the enemy. Got to stun Zizu, Vigas is open and ready to rumble. Drops down the Bane immediately, and now they go for the racks. Go for the kill here. Big Illuminate going across, though, taking a lot of damage this way and from the back end. Eternal Envy. Again, that Ring 2 Diffusal doing so much damage. Scandal dropping down to 45 HP. Hiding down inside the Acid Spray. Now there comes a big stun on Rice. He won't get the split. He doesn't get the split again.
Oh my god.
They get a beautiful Orchid after that splitter. With good timing from Twista, and even better follow-up from Vegas. Just so sad to see. We do see, actually, there is going to be a pickoff. Looks like Alchemist was able to dive the base, get another kill on, well, looks like the Keeper Light. And then, of course, Envy just jumping on around, trying to do what he can, but seems to be not too much.
Blow Your Brain. There's a gem on Blow Your Brain. He just needs to get the vision.
He's close, He gets the Vector, he gets the toss, and he's going to go in for the kill here. The question is, do they have the lockdown? They have that Orchid. There it is.
Oh.
Good attempt from Bone 7, but not too much. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
if you do it again, Vegas, I will kill you! Oh, pick up the
actually
fucking
did.
gem. I guess they really don't care for it. Like, I don't even know. Like, they have to see it. He pinged it. But he's just, I guess, worried about the big heroes, the buybacks and stuff like that. I mean, you know, professional things. But I'm just hating on the gem. Either way.
Maybe they just want to fight
Ooh.
on equal terms.
He doesn't have mana for Infest, so he's not going to be able to do it. I mean, he didn't have anything to Infest, too,
look at
because
Braid.
Blow is out of range. But Blow is caught out in the cogs, duking it out with the Blade Mail, means this Lance will actually seal his fate. 2 kills come out for Kaipi, 2 really big kills. Problem is they're down 4 racks, and they're going to have to Roche or, you know, roll over dead.
This was also an unnecessary death by Blow Your Brain there. He was walking like right there, and he could have easily just walked just to this shop and bought a TP, but instead he just tried to help Vigos, and instead just gave away a much needed kill for Envy.
Are they going to get him? No, they don't have detection.
They don't have vision.
No, then he comes out. He gives them vision. They get the beautiful stun off. They're going to be able to follow it up, but he doesn't have mana. The Diffusal 2 doing work. He skewers him right back on into the damage from the Leshrac, but here comes that Bane, locking him down. I think a Nightmare would have sufficed. No. Anyways, Defensive Disruption. Will he get out? Oh my gosh,
Oh my
the
God.
Magnus Johnny surviving with 100 HP. They turn around for 2 kills. And they called a good game right there. I don't blame
Yeah.
them. Holy shit, that was really good from Empire.
I was about to say there's no way Envy can go down if there's no Nags or Alchemist around, but suddenly he just drops.
Suddenly, 14 Bloodstone charges Leshrac.
Yeah, wow, that was huge.
Big
Either
pulse
way,
Nova damage.
yeah, it was good game by Empire, I gotta say. Great game. The rotation from both supports really clutch, just making space for their core heroes, especially that early engagement where yeah, at the bottom ancient stack where they just got, well, that TP from Envy. Just can't explain it. There's nothing to say about that.
Sure enough. So great. I gotta say, one thing that we haven't really highlighted on enough, in my opinion, is Scandal's Shadow Demon. It's something you don't see him play, but holy crap, those defensive disruptions on multiple Fiend's grips, on other really bad situations, he disrupts. I mean, there were a couple IX Mike level disruptions there, and I really gotta say, I was impressed by him doing so well in a hero that we generally don't get to see him pick up competitively.
Definitely. Yeah, I mentioned it during the draft that it's not, well, nobody's actually used to seeing Scandal as not the really star player that gets to play those elusive and game-changing heroes such as Puck, Darkseer, Queen of Pain. But his Shadow Demon was really on the mark, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see more from him.
Yep, so this will be interesting to see how the next game will play on out. But right now, the first game went in favor of Empire quite clearly after they started off with, what, 5 or 6 kill advantage, and then just moved in from there. And Eternal Envy made a couple plays to bring it back a little bit, but just really never seemed like they could get their head above water. So from there, they dropped down. And that's pretty much it. So either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Game 1 of this Best of 3 series. We'll see if Empire can take it 2-0 and show that their lineup has kind of found its core roots there with Twista and this temporary stand-in. And otherwise, we'll see if Kaipi have anything to say about what happened last game, and if there's anything they can do differently to bring it back into the fold and try to actually stay in the group stages here for the WePlay.tv Phase 2 tournament. So thank you guys so much for tuning in again, and if you guys are interested in checking out the casters, I myself am Blaze. This is Skim, so you can check us out at Twitter or Twitch.com/I'm and he is Skim Gaming. So you can check those out. Either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Going on into Game 2 in just a minute.